Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here tonight with the Stars and Stripes Championship race here at Kansas. It's going to be a good one tonight. Scott Rickard trying to claim a championship. He's got a lead, but in the booth with me here tonight, Christian Taylor. Christian, what's up?
Oh, I'm just sitting here crunching the numbers, doing some math, and ladies and gentlemen, this chase for the championship is not a close one. Basically, and Blake, you look at how many people's in the session right now, right? All my numbers come down to no matter what Dylan or Chad do, Scott must finish 28 the worst.
Okay, well, that's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, I'd say so, looking at how many people are in the session.
Yeah, we've got about 20 in the session. So, ladies and gentlemen, as long as Scott Rickard does not disconnect here in the next 5 minutes, he's going to be claiming a champion.
Basically, so. I mean, there's a few scenarios to where, because your bonus points are key. You get 1 point for you. If you lead a lap, you get 1 point. If you have the most lap led, you get a second point. And then the 0x gives you 3 points. But, with those 5 points, it still doesn't change the fact that Scott has that 30-point lead going into the race.
Yeah, it's basically over, but nonetheless, these guys are racing for a race win tonight. Right now, Chad White on the top of the board with a 30.368. Let's see if that can hold on.
Gonna have to take a look, see what's gonna be happening here tonight. Seeing Scott Rickard working around the track right now. Look at the focus in the steering wheel. Gonna cut it all the way down to the grass. Gets a little squirrely there. Gonna put it on the board in third place.
And Kyle McCoy in fifth. So, honestly, I mean, Chad White might be able to hold on to the pole. We know Dylan Grimm usually has some speed. Let's see if Grimm's got anything for him.
Watch him make his way around the track here.
This is his out.
Coming through the tribal.
Yep.
Okay.
To the green flag, I assume, this time.
Yep. So he's starting his lap here in his DoorDash, whatever that was.
Take a look at this guy. He does not have a shot at the pole.
JT is one of those that will surprise you randomly, but yeah, look at him. He's squirrely. Oh, he's just bringing it into the pits. He's done.
He is so slow, but we are on board here with the 23. Dylan Grimm, let's see what he's got. His first lap around here at Kansas. He's going to cross the line with a lap time in 10.
Oh, not very fast at all for championship hopeful Dylan Grimm.
Yeah, well, I think the second lap's been quicker for most of these guys, so let's see what the Fort Collins native does here. His final time around as he goes down the backstretch for the last time.
Yep. Here he comes through the tribal. What's he gonna finish here? Get as close to the grass without touching it as you can. He is gonna jump up to fourth.
So yeah,
right behind Scott Rickard.
Jason Gratton, though, he was quick time in practice. Let's see if he can do the same here in qualifying. He has started his out lap here. So coming to the green flag in the 46, unsponsored still throughout the whole season. Jason Gratton's had speed, no sponsors. Man, this guy's had a rough season, Christian. Ups and downs, rollovers. He's junked it. He's just had ups and downs. It seems like he's had shots at wins, and he's had shots at not living through the race as well.
He's died at least twice this season. This is actually his brother, Ryan L. Lynch, if you remember from last week, who he had his first ever race start. He hadn't even drove a car on the street, but he drove the car last week.
Gratton's first lap 11th, but it's all about the south. Never mind, he's heading in. Jason Gratton with a stinker. He's going to be starting in the back. That 46 is junk.
Being sponsorless all season, Blake has really caught up to the Grattons. They couldn't afford the fuel to race and do 2 laps of qualifying too. He actually had to keep it at half throttle so he didn't run out of fuel tonight.
That definitely seems so, but it is official, folks. Checkered flag in the air. Quick time, Chad White going to kick off from the pole position tonight. Griffin Salyer second, followed by Rickard, the GOAT, Dylan Grimm and Kyle Bowling. But, folks, it is time for your starting lineup here tonight. We're watching the Stars and Stripes Series Championship race, 133 laps here at Kansas. As we get situated and ready to roll, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 streaming service in the world, Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Tonight, the season finale, the championship race, Stars and Stripes Series Xfinity cars here at Kansas. Tonight's starting lineup is as follows. On the front row in the pole position, the Hutchinson Motorsports TV 36 machine, Chad White. On his outside in the 32, Griffin Salyer.
Moving on back to row number 2, you find 05, the GOAT, the most likable champion, Scott Rickard. To his outside, the championship hopeful, starting in 4th, the number 23 of Dylan Grimm.
Row number 3 on the inside in the 44, Kyle Bowling. On his outside, the Nationwide 5, Trey Jackson.
Moving back to row number 4, in the 7th position, you find a Miller Lite 25 of Nate Lynch. To his outside, the 7 Tropical Vibe of Kyle McCoy.
Jumping on back into row number 5 on the inside, ladies and gentlemen, his family is in the stands. They're probably leaving soon. It's the 17, William Duff the 4th. On his outside, the 9, Zach Kreitz.
Moving on back to row number 6 in P11, you find the number 8 Nest Quick Chevy of Josh Cratton. To is outside, the anime fan himself, the 63 Amtrak, Aaron Poplin.
That was actually row number 7 there you had, but nonetheless, let's jump back here into row number 8. It's going to be JT Tinker, Ryan Lynch. Going back to row number 9, Chris Esri, Tom Ogle. Row 10, Josh Robinson making his season debut, I believe. I don't think we've seen Josh Robinson. Christian, a little thing about Josh, he was a champion the last 2 seasons before this season. And starting dead last in the 21st position, Tommy Osborne. So Tom Ogle out there as well as Josh Robinson. Should be a good one here tonight. Chad White kicking off from the pole position, folks. We are lined up and we are just about ready to roll here at Kansas. But your front row is going to be Chad White. On the inside, Griffin Salyer, the ladies' man, last week's winner on the outside. But the pace car is in, field is set. These fans are pumped up. On your feet, off your seats. We are racing for the final time of the season. Stars and Stripes Championship race is underway.
Chad White gets a good jump on the bottom side there. Scott Rickard, the GOAT, going to be following in right behind him. Going to be clearing himself for second in front of the 32 of Sawyer.
Let's drop back here. How about this guy, Tom Ogle, returning back to the Stars and Stripes Series. Good to see Tom out here. Right in front of him is Josh Robinson. Both these guys had a hiatus away from the Stars and Stripes Series this season. But here they are starting in the rear. They got some work to do, but you can count on them to work up to the front.
Yeah, I remember watching last season when I was just a fan of Hutchinson Motorsports TV, watching Tom Ogle ripping around the track. Seen him win a few.
And one thing to remember, Josh Robinson, I swear last year there were all the time, it seems like a race would start, the first half of it, he looked like a nobody. And the next thing you know, by the end of the race, he's out front. I mean, he is a king at saving tires, saving fuel. Basically, he's just a mastermind behind the wheel. He's just cutting his time right now.
So he could be one of those, what I always call the trackhouse upset, being out of the playoffs but still winning the whole race.
Absolutely a possibility. He's got a lot of work to do here tonight. And one thing to remember, the Stars and Stripes Series has no stage break, so there's no guaranteed cautions. You don't want to fall back too far, as we're looking at Scott Rickard, the GOAT, your season 11 champion officially.
Yep, he has to finish 28th or worst, and the worst he can finish right now is 21st. So, yeah, it must feel good to be champion. Maybe we'll even interview him mid-race.
Yeah, we may as well. Let's just pull him in the interview during the green. He probably wouldn't care. But there you have it on the graphic. Scott Rickard, season 11 champion. It's official. And if you're Scott Rickard out here, you may as well just go for the win. I mean, everybody wants to park it in victory lane in the championship race.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, silly old, was it Blaney winning Phoenix? He didn't win the championship. He wasn't in the Final Four. And it is like you had Kyle Larson wins the championship. Oh, and by the way, the other guy won the race.
Absolutely. Look at Chad White and that Bad Fast Hutchinson Motorsports TV 36 machine. Let's drop back a little bit. Aaron Poplin in this 63 machine. He is going nowhere.
Aaron's one of those, he gets started in the race. He kind of just hangs out for a little bit. But he's going to see what he can do throughout the whole run. Of course, JT's behind him. And, JT's been known to wreck a teammate or two.
Absolutely, and been known to wreck everybody else as well, it seems like. But we're looking at Aaron Poplin. We got the juicy Spider drone cam out here right now as they are side by side in this brutal battle for 15th.
This is the battle that's going to decide the race right here back at 15th. Either one of these cars can go on to win it. As JT is going to make his way around Aaron on the bottom side. Aaron falls back another position. Just goes to show that Amtrak is always late.
And Tom Ogle with his patented White Claw on the card. You got Bowling Green as well. His two favorite things, folks, Bowling Green University and White Claw. Meanwhile, the ladies' man, Griffin Salyer, last week's winner. Sitting in the third spot, has Blues Hog on the car. Good-looking 32 machine while he watches Chad White and Scott Rickard out in front of him. We have Kyle Bowling in fourth, and rounding out the top five, Dylan Grimm.
Yeah, I actually had to pay for extra security tonight to keep the ladies' ladies out of the broadcast. But if we're up here doing some serious work, we can't have extra people in the booth just trying to get a closer look at the ladies, man.
Boy, I've talked with Griffin a lot, and I can see why the ladies love him. He's just a great kid.
Absolutely. It's just last week, I'll tell you what, they were here for 4 hours after the win, and he was signing autographs the entire time.
Just nonstop. And we're watching Josh Robinson, last season's champion and season 9 champion. So seasons 9 and 10 champion. Currently, he's running dead last. I don't know if he's just out here joking around or what's going on. But the unsponsored 46 machine out of Pittsfield, Illinois, Jason Gratton rounds out your top 10. Let's hop on board with Gratton. He was quick time in practice. Well, qualifying started, and he was not very quick.
He started back here towards the middle of the pack. Hasn't really traveled up too much, just up one position since he started.
Meanwhile, Chad White continues to lead, but Scott Rickard, the GOAT, right behind him. About a quarter of a second separate the two. Let's see if Chad can finally park that Hutchinson Motorsports TV car into victory lane. I don't think he's won, Christian, since that Indy car race at Laguna Seca, where somehow he just turned into the GOAT of road courses.
I remember that night. I wasn't here, but I did watch it live. Chad White had the understanding that if he did not win the championship, he was fired. Are we going to allow a second place after, he's kind of redeemed himself late season? Is second place going to be good enough to keep him around, Blake?
Well, maybe if he wins this race, I'll consider it. But if he doesn't win this race and gets second in the championship, he is as good as gone.
Yeah, I mean, how many chances can somebody truly get, Blake?
Too many, honestly. I mean, this guy he's been moseying around the shop, just kind of being a mooch, honestly. We've given him the opportunity of a lifetime, and he's out here blowing the championship. Chad White.
Yep. So, it's very unfortunate how we have just talent that's wasted around here.
100%. And Christian, I just looked in the stands. And it looks like the family of William Duff the fourth, they've seen enough. They're already gone.
They were gone like lap 2, Blake. They ran out of food, and then they got up and left.
Yeah, William Duff the second, he just scoffed. As soon as the green flag dropped, he saw Duff back there in the 10th spot. He said, not good enough, William. I'm gone.
Yeah, maybe next season, William Duff the fourth will finally have his family stick around for more than 3 laps.
They haven't really cared much this whole season, but in front of him, he's watching a battle for the 9th spot between Nate Lynch in that 25 machine and Trey Jackson. That is one good-looking Miller 25 machine there on Nate Lynch, isn't it?
Yep. Nate Lynch out there drinking Millers as he's driving, I might add. Gonna go on a Juicy Spider drone cam.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Let the fans know what you're seeing while I'm flying around this high-tech drone from Juicy Spider Studios.
Just seeing a beautiful paint job here. Miller. I don't even see it. Did Miller make a non-light version? Because I don't even see light on that car.
Yes, they did back in the day.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
I don't know if they still have it or not. I haven't seen it in a while. I know you got the Miller High Life stuff, but I don't know if they have regular Miller anymore.
All right, back there behind him is 2Y battle for 9th.
Yeah,
William Duff the fourth on the bottom side there.
Trying to get around the 5 there of Trey Jackson. That's really the closest battle on the track. Let's see how Tom Mogul's doing. He elected not to qualify out of Wooster, Ohio. Tom Mogul, he's just a White Claw fiend. And, folks, you may know him. He is known as the Gambling Man.
You reckon he put a bet on himself tonight?
Well, maybe to finish in the back.
Yeah, see, I got my binoculars up here in the booth, and I'm looking down there in turn 3, and I'm pretty sure I see a White Claw fan at the bottom of the banking there. I'm guessing that came from him, right?
Absolutely. And during the NASCAR races, how drivers just throw their water bottles and stuff out the window onto the apron under caution.
Yeah,
well, Tom does that with his White Claws.
But he does it on the green too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only way to do it.
That brings us back to the good old 2000 and what was it? When did Carl Edwards lose the championship because of that phantom caution? Oh man, 2013 maybe?
Something like that.
Connor Gerard probably knows in the chat, the GOAT.
Yeah, speaking of which, I haven't even pulled up the Hutchinson Motorsports TV fan chat. Let's see what's going on there with our great fans. We appreciate you tuning in here tonight. We got Connor Gerard in, as always, and we've also got the Cookie Monster 82 out here.
Yeah. Cookie Monster taking some shots at Chad and Duff in the chat. He says he's a new guy here. Stage breaks not in here. We are racing from green to checkered unless they junk it.
Yep, no stages here tonight. We're into lap number 19 with the Stars and Stripes Series Championship race here at Kansas. Chad White's led every lap so far, but the GOAT, Scott Rickard, has been right on that back bumper all race long.
I could foresee a pass here soon, Blake.
Yeah, to me, it kind of seems like he's just toying with him, honestly. I think he's just saving tires, and if he wanted to pass him anytime, he could.
All season, he has been right there towards the beginning. He's had a few runs to where, you thought he was out, but he made it through, locked in his championship pretty much last week.
Yep, basically locked it all up. He is your champion, and it looks like he's trying to make a move for the race lead. Chad White trying to hold on, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much about it.
Like he's maybe going to make a move here going down the backstretch. To the inside of Chad White, heading into turns 3 and 4. Giving him all the space in the world as Scott Rickard's wrapping the bottom. I don't think Chad White has a chance there, especially if he's going to touch the wall there. Through the tri-oval hard.
Yeah, at the line, Scott Rickard, your race leader. Let's see if he can finish the pass here, and it looks like he probably will, but we'll wait for it here as the 05 of Rickard looking to throw the slide job. Can he clear him? Not quite yet.
I was doing some history research of Kansas here, And it did mention that back in 2012, and I actually watched a video of it. Kozlowski and Johnson had like a slide job war. It was like every lap, just slide job after slide job after slide job.
Absolutely. So let's jump around. New race leader Scott Rickard, and right now we've got a battle here for about the 15th position, while William Duff continues to run in the 10th spot in that 17 Landshark machine. It looks like it's getting a little bit, dark here. I don't think we're going to get in the night, but the sun is definitely setting here. Let's see if track conditions might switch up.
Track's definitely going to cool down.
Sean Aikens in the chat. Hutchinson Motorsports TV LMP2 driver in the Motor City Racing Sunday Night Series. He was actually a champion last season. Think he can do it again, Christian?
I think he's got a good shot. I mean, it's going to be one of those seasons that you got to stay tuned for the entirety of it. Usually it comes down to the last race as far as battles, but not for Sean this season. He locked it up with like, what, 2 to go?
I think officially it was going in the last race, but he basically had it locked up. He just absolutely dominated. And it looks like, he's going to be the favorite heading into season number, I believe it's 5 coming up here in, I think it's the second Sunday of December, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Just, Sean, do me a favor. When it comes down to the last race, have it locked in. Don't make me have to do math.
Yeah, it is not fun having to do math, and it's definitely not fun listening to Christian have to do math.
Hey, but it comes down to it. It is pretty cool. Me up here crunching the numbers.
Absolutely. As Aaron Poplin currently in the last position, Christian, dead last.
Your Hutchinson Motorsports TV champion of the season for the battle for last may just be Aaron Poplin, Blake.
Yeah, if you bring home the battle for last in the last race of the year, that means you're champion the entire offseason of last.
It's a very noble award to have. Something that Scott Rickard, the GOAT, knows nothing about.
Absolutely. So Sean Atkins continues to comment here in the chat. We appreciate every one of you tuning in. We've got Connor Gerard out there, as well as the Cookie Monster 82. Folks, be sure to click the like button on the video for us. Subscribe to the channel. We're on lap 27 out of 133.
Hey.
Christian, looks like the 30 machine of Josh Robinson starting to work through the field a bit. He's up to 14th and he's on the back bumper of Tom Ogle.
Josh Robinson. Wow. Pass. Did Tom just put it in park there?
I think he's on his outside still. There he goes.
Okay, there he goes.
Later, loser. Gives him the finger, too. Wow. These two do not like each other, Christian. They are enemies.
All right. Sean Atkins in the chat says, you need AI to do the numbers for you. From what I can remember, you trying to do math in your head. But why would we use AI? That's absurd. I never use AI for my number crunching. Do I, Blake?
No, we never use AI for anything here at Hutchinson Motorsports TV, but looks like Scott Rickard starting to pull away just a little bit, has about a 0.6 of a second lead on Chad White. Not sure how far these guys are going to be able to make it on fuel. Should be quite a while, though. I would bet this will probably be a 2-stop race at the most. Ryan Lynch, though, in the number 3 machine. USAA on the car. Ryan Lynch had some brutal rollovers in the Indy car specifically. One of the best shorts that we've had in a while was Ryan Lynch. We've seen out of this guy here, Christian. We know Kyle McCoy, most weeks he's got a shot to win. He's bad fast, but this week looks like he's kind of junked there in the 7th position.
Well, he's one that I've learned not to count out until the end or until he junks it. He is the definition of checkers and wreckers rolling on the track.
Absolutely. Just seems like he either wins it or junks it every single week. We got Bugs here in the chat. Bugs here 3811. Appreciate you popping in here, as well as everybody else. But let's jump around the field a little bit here. Chris Essery there in the 91 machine, cruising in the 9th position. Been a quiet night so far for Chris, but he's up 8 spots after starting all the way back in 17th.
On the move.
Yeah, he is your hard charger here. The HMS TV hard charger board. Chris Essery plus 8 spots. Josh Robinson plus 7, with Jason Gratton up 5 spots, and Ogle and Osborne both up 4.
Chris Essery making Grandma and Grandpa proud out there.
As always. Let's see what else we got going on as William Duff, the 4th, cruising around in the 13th position here into lap 33 out of 133. So 33 laps down, Christian, 100 to go here at Kansas.
Zach Kreitz rocking the WeatherTech Red Bull Chevy there. Oh, here's your favorite place, Micro Center, Blake.
Absolutely, Micro Center, best place in the business. You're looking for computer parts, head on over there, folks. They kind of live in the old days. They don't really let you order stuff online. They do let you pick up some stuff, but any of their deals, you got to go get them in person, just like the old days.
You know, I kind of get behind it, but then at the same time, they're a technology company. Technology is always evolving. Shouldn't they be as well?
Yeah, and you know, it is kind of funny how they live in the past kind of with their deals and whatnot, but nonetheless, Josh Robinson on the back bumper of Nate Lynch trying to get up to 10th. I told you, Christian, earlier, he's just kind of screwing around, hanging out in last, but he's just a champion at saving those tires, and he always finds a way to get up front, it seems like.
Yeah, he's making his way through the field.
Seems like he's always one step ahead of these drivers. Like, I've seen him do some crazy things. He can stretch out a fuel run. And where I saw him run a whole race where he was holding the clutch the entire corner and was able to save enough fuel to basically pit one less time than everybody. He's just done all kinds of crazy things. So Josh Robinson, he's going to be one to watch as he's taking over the 9th spot. Meanwhile, Dylan Grimm, what are you seeing out of the 23 car here tonight, Christian? He's up to 4th after starting in 4th.
Yep, he's just like not moving at all. But of course, he's about to gain a position because Chad White is falling hard.
Yeah, I'll tell you who is moving. That is Chad White in the 36 machine, and he's moving to the rear. After leading some laps early on, his tires are cooked. He has gone from 1st to 4th.
Yep, that 44. Blake, you got to figure out how to get him off the screen there, man. We got to blur it or something.
You know, I just need to delete that paint job, and we're changing to a Hutchinson Motorsports TV paint scheme. How about this guy, though, Kyle Bolin? He's in the 2nd position, 1.2 seconds behind your race leader, trying to hold off Dylan Grimm here in the lap 37 with the Stars and Stripes Series Championship race at Kansas. Jumping back here to the 12th position, Zach Kreitz in that number 9 Red Bull machine. He has really not done much during the race. When we go back to, let's see, going back to Kreitz. Yeah, he started in 10th, back to 12th. And folks, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. You're not going to miss a lap, though. We're going HMS TV side by side. We'll be right back. And we're back here at Kansas with the Stars and Stripes Series Championship race. Your race leader, the GOAT, Scott Rickard. He's going to be your Season 11 champion as well. Can he bring home the checkered flag here at Kansas?
Doing a good job at it so far. The only thing that's going to really take it away from him right now is this race is staying clean and green. Only a few battles on the track. I don't foresee there being too many incidences, but it's going to be getting on and off of pit road when it comes time, Blake.
Absolutely. It always is where the race is won and lost, it seems. And Scott Rickard's one of the best at pit strategies, it seems like. So let's see if he can keep that up. But into the second spot, Kyle Bowling. He's starting to reel in your race leader, it looks like. 0.8 of a second behind Rickard.
How many races this season? You know, Stars and Stripes is one of our cleaner leagues. I'd say the cleanest if I had to throw one out there. You know, I'd say a good majority of the races has been won or lost on pit road, like you mentioned.
You know, it makes a big difference when a race, you know, you might get 1 or 2 cautions at most. You know, pit strategy really starts to matter. Whenever you're in a league, you know, when you're guaranteed a caution every, 20, 30 laps, it really doesn't matter that much. But when you have to pit under green, that's one of the best ways to gain or lose ground.
Oh, my goodness. We have a millionaire.
Sean Atkins with the $1.99 super chat says, what are y'all's favorite paints here tonight? Well, Christian, I'm going to start with my favorite paint. This one right here.
It's a beautiful paint. Absolutely gorgeous paint. I just wish it was better represented.
Yeah, the paint looks good, but the driver, not so much. Chad White behind the wheel, sitting in the 6th position out of Loudon, Tennessee, and he continues to hemorrhage positions. Christian, what's your favorite paint?
Man, there's so many good ones. I'm going to have to go back to that 25 car, the Miller car. I'm going to have to say that's my favorite one.
That is definitely a good one. Has to be a top 5 for me. Let's take a look here. It looks like Nate Lynch is a lap down. I assume he has pitted.
Yep, a beautiful car. As Connor Gerard in the chat meant, Sean Atkins. He says the 44 car is clean.
Get him out of here.
Oh my!
You're done.
Blake, should I start the paperwork right now to terminate his position?
Yep, fire him.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe this,
folks. This
Sean,
is the 44 car he's talking about. This car is hideous. Flow Racing on it, one of the worst services in the business. That is nothing on HMS TV.
Yep. If somebody out there is watching and has Flow Racing, what should they do right now, Blake?
They should probably unsubscribe. Quit wasting your money on Flow Racing because we are live almost 7 nights a week here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. And, folks, it's still free. I know we had a couple complaints about an ad or two that has ran, but, there's been 2 ads since this race started. One was a 30-second ad, and another you could skip after 5 seconds. So I don't think that's too bad.
Definitely not. I mean, it's something especially so quick. But look at this guy. You warned me he was going to be one to keep an eye on. But right behind him, too, Tom Ogle has matched him for position.
Yeah, both of them elected to – I don't even think they qualified. I feel like they both started in the back or something. But Tom Ogle in the 7th spot with Josh Robinson in 6th. As the pit cycle continues, Kyle McCoy is down pit road as well as Chris Essery. And here comes Griffin Salyer, the ladies' man. My guess is you're probably going to see Josh Robinson. He's probably going to run this along. He'll probably be one of the last ones to pit, would be my guess. That seems to be his strategy most of the time.
Seems to be making good work of his time here tonight. Like we mentioned, up 14 positions.
Tom Ogle down pit road while Scott Rickard continues to lead this race here in a lap number 54. Let's try to run the math here. If this is going to be a one-stop race, you would – nah, there's no way. They'd have to get to like lap 70-ish almost. I don't know. They could, I guess. If you get to 67, that would be halfway. So I don't know if they have enough fuel or not, which I doubt.
It comes down to the tire advantage then. If you could stretch it to a one-stopper, Will the tire advantage of the 2 stops matter? And Scott Ricker's probably going to. Yeah, he's coming down now,
Yeah,
and I'm afraid he stayed out a lap too long if he was going to pit anyway.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be doing the one-stop strategy because here comes Josh Robinson. So there you have it. I think it's going to be a 2-stop strategy for everybody. So they get about 55 laps or so. They pass the race lead on over to Dylan Grimm.
The DoorDash Toyota Supra. Ladies and gentlemen, with 15 laps to go, Dylan Grimm always places his DoorDash order.
Yep, and here he comes down pit road. So he's going to pass the lead on to, I believe, Ryan Lynch if he can make it another lap.
And he does.
So there you go, the Mooresville, North Carolina native. Ryan Lynch out front. Big tire fall off here tonight. Looks like Ryan Lynch has dropped off 2 seconds since the start of this race.
Sean in the chat says Scott looked like he came into the pits fast, and yes, Sean, I did see that. I was keeping an eye on the scoring board where it would tell me if he got a black flag, and he seems to be all clear.
Yeah, Scott Rickard's not one to typically speed down pit road, but I would notice that as well. It did look like he was coming in a little hot, but he was able to get the car slowed down enough. But Ryan Lynch down pit road, he's going to pass the lead on over to Trey Jackson if he can make it. So Trey Jackson takes over the race lead with Ryan Lynch down pit road. Chad White might cycle back into the lead. Let's pull up this pit strategy board. Looks like Chad White pit 7 laps ago. So he was one of the earlier ones to pit. Oh, Trey Jackson actually pit 11 laps ago. So there you have it. A couple of different strategies out front. You know, they made up some ground by pitting early. We'll see if this plays out in the long run.
That's what I mean by, you know, staying out. You do lose time. It's going to come down to that last pit stop and who stays out the longest. And if they do stay out the longest, that's where you better hope they're fastest, you know what, to get up there.
Well, you know, you always get it back on the back end here when you stay out a little longer. So I'm not too concerned. Scott Rickard, I think you're going to see him start reeling in Chad and Trey pretty quickly here in lap 58. Kyle McCoy up to the 4th spot out of Morrison, Illinois. Let's see when Kyle came down pit road. 7 laps ago. So he's got 7 laps on those tires. Chad has 9, and Jackson has 13 in the race lead.
Let's look at Trey Jackson's last time around the track. He did a 31.63. Chad White's last time around the track in second place was a 31.16. So Trey Jackson's relatively slower than what is the rest of the field, all the way back to what would be 9th position.
And Chad,
excuse me.
And Scott Rickard, I'm sorry, in 3rd actually ran a 31.09. So he gained a couple tenths on Chad White as well. So he is reeling him in. He's got a lot of time. He's going to definitely make his way back up to the front. You're probably going to see Chad take back the race lead for at least a bit. Jason Gratton, though, in the 7th position. Let's pull up some information here. The fastest 5, the last lap around the track, Jason Gratton was the best at 31.05.
Absolutely flying. As it looks like we might have a battle for the lead now.
Yeah, not much of one. Chad White makes quick work of Trey Jackson, so he takes over the race lead again. Let's pull up your HMS TV lap leaderboard. So Scott Rickards led 33 laps. Chad White about to be 22 laps.
Making his way around. Scott Rickard, lap after lap after lap, is just turning heaters compared to the rest of the field. Or it's the leader, excuse me.
Yeah, Rickard definitely putting it on him. He is the car to beat tonight. Just a matter of time before he finds himself back up there. But, folks, a big shout-out to HarpoonDesign.com. Head on over there. Brantley Roden with Harpoon Design. He can make you a paint scheme for just about any NASCAR type car or dirt track car. Paint start at just $25 at harpoondesign.com.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna have to be putting me a new paint job order in soon. When I head over to harpoondesign.com, I'm gonna click that little red button below the Harpoon logo. Did you see those two cars Trackhouse released to Red Bull? I mean, it's just a blue and red variant, pretty similar, but man, they are sweet.
You know, I've always been kind of hoping they go back to, a silver Red Bull car, but apparently they're not.
I'm not gonna diss a classic Blake, but I'm pretty happy with it, out with the old in with the new when it comes to that myself.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the paint schemes they put out look the same every single race. They'll change like a little border or something somewhere, and everybody freaks out.
You're talking about the 5 of Kyle Larson.
That too. That's honestly most of NASCAR, it seems like, except the teams that change the sponsor like every race. Kind of like Denny Hamlin. He has a new sponsor every week, it seems like.
And he kind of got, towards the end of the season, I think they got pretty ironed out where it's just pretty much similar sponsors, like a rotation of 3 or 4. But NASCAR today isn't, back in the day you had the identities of cars. They had the same scheme all year. Not the same, nowhere near it anymore.
Absolutely. And Connor Gerard, what do you think of paint schemes nowadays? What are your favorite paints? And who's your favorite driver? I can't remember who Connor said his favorite driver was earlier in the season.
Yeah, go ahead and add, what was your favorite 2025 paint, Connor? And Blake, what was your favorite 2025 paint?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to have to think on that one. I'll let you go ahead and answer that.
I was thinking about it as I asked the question, and I'm going to have to go back to the Clash, I think. And this is kind of out of my ballpark because my favorite paint isn't even my team. It's the Unbannable that the 45 ran at the Clash.
Yeah,
that was just, it's nothing special, but the message behind it was kind of like a big middle finger to, everyone. They said it was a throwback to when the NBA, banned the Air Jordans, but we all knew what that paint meant.
Yeah, the 45 seemed he probably had the best paints all season long, I'd say, like in general. Seemed like they always had something cool. The 23 team, they had a couple cool ones, but they were more, I guess, standard. They had some sponsors that stuck around most of the year. But, my favorite paint scheme, I mean, I'm probably being a homer, but I really did like that AM, PM, Denny Hamlin paint scheme late in the year.
Oh yeah, I gotta give props to that one. But everyone in the chat, I'm sure Connor's typing right now. But Sean, let us know, and anybody else that might be watching, what was your favorite 2025 paint scheme of the year?
Yeah, I'm not sure Sean watches much NASCAR, but hey, if you do, Sean, let us know. Let's see what Connor just put in. He said he honestly has to think about it because I don't like some paints. Well, Connor,
I understand
which
that.
paints you didn't like too. What were some of your least favorite ones, Christian?
My least favorite ones, it has to be the cookie cutter paints, the ones that's the same all year. Like even the WeatherTech on SVG got kind of old. It was the same paint week after week after week. And I know we just said that was the old identity of NASCAR, but the fact that everyone else is changing, kind of makes it look weird when you don't.
Yeah, I'm going to say my least favorite is that 5 car, Kyle Larson, that guy. Those cars are hideous.
Now, Gavin Sawyer in the chat does have a good point. The Larson Labonte throwback, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that one was okay, I guess. And one thing that I just remembered, the 40 car last season, the Travelers Whiskey car, that was a pretty cool one at Daytona.
Oh, absolutely. And they announced that they will be running it back again. Interested to see if they can make the show second year in a row.
I think they'll be fine making the show. But it's going to be interesting to see how many actually attempt to qualify. Typically, you're looking at 2 or 3 guys kind of racing for a spot in. But out front, though, Scott Rickard, the GOAT, taking over the race lead, and he is out front by 1.7 seconds. This is his race to win or lose as we head into lap number 72. Next time around, we are halfway home with the Stars and Stripes Championship race. This is the last race of Season 11 here at Kansas with the Stars and Stripes Series. Connor says he didn't like the green 48 Ally car at Las Vegas.
I don't really remember that one. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look at this one.
Gavin
I'm checking on that, Connor.
Gavin, shouldn't you be racing?
I just realized, is he on the track?
Oh no, so Griffin Salyer. I'm sorry, Griffin Salyer's racing. Gavin is his brother. Yeah, Gavin raced last season a lot. This season, I guess he's just a sissy and he's too scared to go out there. Is that right, Gavin? Be sure, though, folks, click that like button on the video subscribe to the channel. Hutchinson Motorsports TV, the world's #1 streaming service. This is the final race of Season 11 with the Stars and Stripes Series. We're here at Kansas in the Xfinity cars here tonight. Rotating cars this season. You know, it's been fun trying out, but I just don't think it worked out. It didn't really keep a lot of these drivers around for whatever reason. Guys just don't like change every week.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. You have people who favor cars and people who don't like cars. And I guarantee you had your IndyCar bunch, you had your Xfinity bunch. I'm not racing when it's this car bunch. I'm not racing when it's that track bunch. So,
and we got a battle for the 4th position brewing. It's Griffin Salyer in the 32, the ladies' man, and then behind him, the 23 of Dylan Grimm in 5th.
Gavin says you're just a hater, Blake.
That is true. Very true.
He says he has a 6-week-old boy to look after. He will be joining S&S when he turns 6 months. The boy will. Wow, we'll have a new Salyer on the track.
Wow. Well, it can't be worse than Gavin. Ain't that right, Gavin?
We'll have to see what he responds there. But meanwhile, Scott Rickard's still driving away, but don't look now, but look who's coming in second.
Kyle McCoy has figured something out. He was just slower than hell that first run, and out of nowhere, he just turns it on. Like, I can't read this guy sometimes. Sometimes it's like, wow, he's terrible tonight. I look away for, 10 minutes, then you look up, and he's battling for the race lead. So you just never know with Kyle McCoy.
Brings you to what might have been if he didn't have the bad luck that he had, whether he was winning the race or wrecking out of it. What could have been this championship battle if he didn't wreck every race that he didn't win?
Yeah, basically. And then he had a couple early races where he disconnected, and I think he missed a race or two as well. So just some bad luck for him. Never really had a shot at the championship with Scott Rickard, but here comes the 44 of Kyle Bolin making the pass for second. So that moves McCoy to third, followed by Dylan Grimm in fourth, and then Griffin Salyer rounds out your top 5.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't have it on that slow Chad White too long.
Yeah, Chad White, he led some laps early on. He's back to 7th. That's about where Chad belongs, I think.
Mid-pack Chad.
Yep, he's a field filler, basically, Christian. But we got Nate Lynch cruising around here in the 15th position out of Manchester, Iowa. He tried a different strategy by pitting a little early. It did not work out. Aaron Hale in the Camel 4 car out of Colesburg, Iowa, in the 17th position. Not a good night for him. And Christian, look at this. So look at 20th position, right?
Okay. JT, not shocked.
Okay, and then look at 21st. Last.
Well, their team owner, Brian Samara, basically said he went on a 4-week vacation at the end of this season. He says, I don't care about my drivers. I have no respect for them. I'm going on vacation. They can finish out their work season.
Yeah, so it seems like he kind of gave him the Tony Stewart treatment.
Absolutely. People were shocked to hear that when Chase Briscoe went to JGR, that they said the biggest thing was he was, actually heard from the owner. That's how that JT is. I was talking to him before the race, and I almost had to remind him who Brian was.
Hey, I honestly, with all that whole SHR stuff, I lost a lot of respect for Tony Stewart. He used to be one of my favorites, but the way he just kind of abandoned the team and was kind of a big whiny baby about it, I'm kind of over Tony Stewart.
Yeah. I definitely was a big Smoke fan, and I cannot denounce that I still am. I am still a Tony Stewart fan, but I definitely can't defend him from that. He had duties and obligations to the race team that he just failed to uphold, I will say.
And you keep hearing, rumors about him being with Dodge or something. I just don't see it happening. The way he quit on his team before, why would he want to sign up and do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was bigger. I think there was bigger pieces to the puzzle than the public will ever know about. I know there was some manufacturer frustration because they were supposed to hire some young racer who was fresh off suspension for saying a bad word on iRacing, and that person, Ford, told him he couldn't hire, did win the championship the next year.
Yeah,
and that was Kyle Larson.
Yeah, Kyle Larson, he's just such a stand-up guy, isn't he?
Aside from your hate from him, imagine you want to hire somebody, you're told you can't, and then they go out and win the championship.
Yeah, well, again, he was on Hendrick Motorsports. I feel like I could hop in one of those cars and be a playoff driver.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake's hate for Hendrick Motorsports and Kyle Larson goes deeper than any conversation we could have here.
Absolutely. Well, let's check out the chat here. You got Gavin Salyer out there chatting it up with Connor Gerard. We're here in lap number 84 out of 133. We're going to take a quick break, go HMS TV side by side, and we will be right back. Appreciate you tuning in. First, we got a message from Larry McReynolds. Go ahead, Larry.
Hi, I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
And we're back here at Kansas with the Stars and Stripes Series finale. Christian, how you feeling about this one so far? We've been green since the start.
Yeah, we just been kind of watching the Scott Rickard show. Dylan Grimm is now in second place trying to reel him in, but he's staying 2 seconds ahead. You see the HMS TV lap leaders there. Scott Rickard, the GOAT, has led at 62 of the 93 turns so far. Chad White in second place with a handful of others having less than 5.
Yeah, basically been Scott and Chad's led a decent amount of laps, but it's kind of been funny. Chad White's basically a 7th place car, just kind of lucked out and led some laps.
Well, he pitted early, so he had the tires to last him until everyone else got out of pits. But Ryan Lynch may be starting the second pit cycle here.
Yep, with Josh Gratton right behind him. So we'll see when these other guys elect to come down pit road. The math to me, it says to come down anytime because you definitely need to pit again. And they pit about 50 laps into the first run. So this last run's going to be 30-something laps at this point. I'd probably just pit right now.
Yeah, especially if you're Scott Rickard, you do not want to be undercut with tires and be having to push yourself harder than you want to. I think if Scott were to pit right now, he can, and especially if he has a clean stop, maintain that 2-second lead into the pits, he'll have 4 seconds by the time the pit cycle's finished.
But I don't know. The good thing with Scott, since he's got that 2-second gap here to second, if I was him, I'd probably be watching my rearview mirror. Basically, the first time a guy in the top 5 or 6 heads down pit road, I'd probably go in the next lap. It'd be pretty safe at that point. But William Duff, the fourth down pit road. Go ahead.
I was going to say, very good lap 96.
Yeah, looking at lap times. Let's see. Let's take a look at the HMS TV QuickTime board. Chad White with the quick time of the night so far. I don't know how. Must be wrong.
And I mean, it's really not even close. I mean, look at the gap there.
8 hundredths of a second. Chad White out there. I think our timing and scoring must be broken, Christian.
Or that car might be pushing the rules a little bit. I don't know.
Well, that's never helped Chad be fast before, though. But Dylan Grimm into the second spot here. Around Kyle Bowling. Let's take a look at your hard chargers, though. Who is on the top of that board? Josh Robinson up to the 8th position. We saw him charging through the field earlier. Well, it looks like he's kind of done all he can on the strategy. Starting last seems to be a detriment to him.
Definitely so, but I mean, he has had a decent race so far. And Gavin Sawyer, I hope Blake don't read your comment.
Okay, let's take a look here.
Now we've done it.
All right, somebody ban Gavin out here.
We're joking, Connor. Don't drop the ban hammer on him.
Yeah, Connor takes no BS out there. Look out. Griffin Salyer's trying to jump it.
Oh my goodness.
I think he was reading the chat, Christian. I think he saw Gavin drop a comment. So Griffin Salyer said, I'm going to read the chat, and he almost junks it.
That Blues Hog Chevy, he almost tripped over his own hog there.
Absolutely. With Griffin Salyer in the 6th position, he's trying to hold off Chad White. I tell you what, Griffin Salyer was warming up his tires the whole way down the straightaway, and he's still beating Chad.
It must be that Ford, that he found it on the road dead.
There goes Josh Robinson down pit road. He's trying something different, pitting a little bit early compared to the rest of the race leaders. But the GOAT, Scott Rickard, out front. Dylan Grimm starting to reel him in, only a 1.2 second gap.
Connor says he's staying out of this conflict. He's not getting between Gavin and Blake. Probably a smart idea.
Yeah, but meanwhile, we're watching Dylan Grimm put some work in. He is reeling in the GOAT, Scott Rickard. He says, well, Scott, you might have won the championship, but I'm not going to let you have this race for free.
Is Ryan Lynch passing the 23 on tires after pitting?
Has Cookout on the car there, Ryan Lynch. Here comes Aaron Hale and Tom Ogle down pit road and Dylan Grimm down pit road. Good decision by him.
Whoa!
Look at this pit stop here.
Rewind that. Let's see if he spun it out. That was it looked like he was coming straight. Almost. He almost messed it up there.
So Scott
Oh,
Richard
man.
coming in this time around.
Dylan Grimm looks like he did have to go down pit road a second time if I'm reading the log right.
No, he's still down pit road for the first.
Oh, okay. Okay, when he must have briefly left pit road and that's why it had double entry.
Yeah, I think it thought he went down pit road, went on the track, then down pit road again. But nonetheless, he's still out there, taking forever down pit road. Is he serving a penalty or what the hell is he doing?
I guess it doesn't tell me on penalties
Yeah,
like I
he
thought it
served-
would, but
he's
it
serving a
has to
penalty
be.
right now. His pit stop's at 40 seconds.
Yeah, I guess he did go into pits too fast.
So he just ruined his chances. He had a good shot at this one, especially short pit and Rickard. But now Kyle McCoy's going to take over the race lead out front.
30 laps to go here at Kansas with Kyle McCoy, your race leader. Morrison, Illinois.
Yep. Kyle McCoy, not a good start to this race, but he is putting together a good run here throughout the end. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to click the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. HMS TV, world's #1 streaming service. We're going to be back here. Christian, our next scheduled race with the holiday coming up is going to be, let me take a look here, not until Monday. Wow. We almost have a whole week off. I don't remember the last time I went that long without a stream. Not even kidding.
We're going to have to knock the rust off of it Monday. The Wheels America Racing Cup Series. As a racer, I say, unfortunately, heads to Talladega. I'm sure we'll put up on a show for you fans, but my blood pressure is not prepared for what's about to happen at Talladega. As Kyle McCoy spins it out, locks it down, going to get the pit wall a kiss? No, but in typical fashion, throws his race away.
Yeah, Kyle McCoy says, well, I don't think I'm going to win this one. I'm just going to spin it out. And there you have it. So Kyle McCoy loops it around going into pit road. His race basically over. Cannot battle for a race win unless he gets a caution and something crazy. So Trey Jackson's going to take over the race lead here now. But yeah, Christian, like I was saying, I honestly can't remember the last time I went 6 days without a live stream. It's definitely been well over a year, I feel like. Maybe 2, hell, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, even before me and Jesse came on, you were broadcasting consistently.
I'm kind of curious to try to find that out. I basically would have to just scroll through all our videos line by line, and I think we have almost 400 videos. That'd take a while.
Definitely so, but nonetheless, I want to there's a few things I want to say real quick. I want to wish all of the goats in the chat and Hutchinson Motorsports TV, watchers a happy Thanksgiving if you live in the Americas and whatever. I will say that this might be the last Xfinity stream on the Hutchinson Motorsports TV platform. Xfinity been a part of NASCAR for a long time, and we're going to be moving on to the O'Reilly's car, which is going to be a mouthful every time you need to say it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious when they are going to elect to change the name over here on iRacing, if they're going to wait for Daytona to start or what the plan is.
Well, I will say that the day, and this doesn't have to do with the car manufacturer or name, of course, but the exact day that Atlanta Motor Speedway announced its change to Echo Park, it changed on iRacing. Very next update, I would say.
Yeah, so I guess we could always look up the contract details. When is it officially the O'Reilly series? And that's probably what iRacing is going to go with. But here's Griffin
We have some
Salyers
jockeying for position.
flying through the field right now with fresher tires, taking over the 6th spot.
But Scott Rickard, the GOAT, last time around the track was a 31.22. Trey Jackson was a 31.99. Kyle Bowling's a little bit faster than the leader of Scott Rickard, but with almost a 2-second gap, I don't think he's going to even have time with 25 laps to go.
Well, the bad news, though, for Kyle McCoy, he's put down the fastest lap of the entire race, but it's not going to matter. After spinning out, going on the pit road, he's in 11th.
What might have been is the unfortunate tale of the season for Kyle McCoy.
Even faster that lap around. Last 2 laps have been the 2 fastest laps of the race. He's about a second faster than your race leader of Rickard.
Tales of what might have been.
Absolutely. Kyle McCoy, he is pushing that car as hard as it'll go. He's going to see what he can do to try to salvage a decent finish here in the season finale at Kansas with the Stars and Stripes Series Championship race.
One more time tonight, I want to say, and look up in the sky, Blake. It's up there. The Harpoon Design Blimp, piloted by Brantley Roden. Look at the Scott Rickard, the GOAT. We're going to move on back to Trey Jackson. But ladies and gentlemen, you can head on over to harpoondesign.com right now. Place your order for the paints right under the Harpoon logo, which is beautiful H with like the tentacles. Click that little red box below. Place your order. Brantley Roden will get on it. And ladies and gentlemen, I've used him a time or two myself. I have 3 paints by him, actually. Beautiful paints. I look really good on the track, and you can too. Starting at only $25.
Yeah, well, if you're not going to be fast on the track, you can at least look good, and that's what Christian's doing at least.
Hey, you got to give me credit, Blake, the improvement that I've had.
Hey,
8th place last night at Watkins Glen. Come on.
I'll definitely give you credit. You put into practice last week. You could definitely tell you had a decent car. You had a shot at a top 5 run maybe there, but top 8, you can't complain.
Yep, I did have a self spin, and then of course in stage 2, he says I pitched him. I didn't think it did. It didn't look like it to me. I think he came up. Blake, you remember that one? What was your take on that one?
Yeah, I remember that one, and as much as I'd love to say it was your fault, I don't think that one was.
Alrighty. Good to know. Good to know. But we're watching the GOAT Scott Rickard leading the race. Going back to Josh Robinson, which was a hopeful coming into it. Up 15 positions. Qualifying seems to be his biggest problem here tonight. That's why he started in the hole. He's trying to be the ace here tonight, though, as he is turning decent laps, I will say, but not laps fast enough to rival Scott Rickard.
Yeah, and he did kind of short pit the guys in front of him, so I don't expect him to run any of them down. But, yeah, Josh Robinson elected not to qualify, and I think that was his main problem. It really hurt him with the track position. But, hey, a great run for him, though, tonight, popping in here. This might be his first race of the season that I can remember. Maybe he had one other one or so. But he's put on a good clinic out there after starting 21st up to 14th. Sorry, started 19th, not 21st. But we drop back here. JT Tinker, no speed at all. He is a lap down in the 18th position. Maybe he'll junk somebody or do something.
He's just back there joyriding. I think he's listening to Freebird in the car.
We may as well be doing something. We got Filthy Media popping up in the chat. We appreciate you popping in. I'm sorry I had a pop-up there. It threw me off. Something about Zoom. I haven't used Zoom in forever on this computer. But nonetheless, we are live here at Kansas with the Stars and Stripes Series Championship race. You're watching JT Tinker. He is not fast.
Oh, Blake, you're showing it again.
Yeah, Kyle Bowling in the 2nd position. A good night for him out of Malcolm, Nebraska. One of the biggest dumps I have ever looked up.
Is that the one that, was that a dirt road through the center of the town?
Yeah, it looked like Main Street was a dirt road.
You think the Grattans are going to have sponsors next season, Blake?
I don't know. They must have a bad attitude or something. I heard they were in a big sponsorship meeting with a big corporation, and Jason Grattan showed up in jean shorts and a tank top.
That's definitely not how you win over the sponsors. Dress to impress, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And from the looks of it, it was a sponsor you don't want to show up like that. It's not like he's showing up to Marlboro or I'm trying to think of another one that the hillbilly NASCAR fans would love.
Wrangler.
There you go, Wrangler or Amp Energy or something like that. You know, he's showing up to these big corporations with his jean shorts on. They are not nice jean shorts, Christian. They are all ratty. They have holes in them. They're dirty. Looks like they haven't been washed in months.
Yeah, we all had that pair of work jeans, but that is definitely not the apparel you wear to a meeting of such nature.
And I'll tell you, somebody who's going to be looking for a new race team next season, this guy right here, Chad White, going to be losing his seat next year. Not fast enough. We're going to fire him.
How many times did you have him in your office this season, you know, telling him he needs to improve? And just, oh my goodness, look behind him. We got somebody smoked the wall. Kyle McCoy smokes the wall.
Yeah, McCoy, he's pushing that car. He's not happy when he spun out. He just comes out of the corner here. Here it is. McCoy sent it in there trying not to lift. Well, here's what happens when you don't lift. Wham!
Wham!
Well, this guy right here putting on a clinic tonight, Scott Rickard, the GOAT, 2.5 second lead. He is your champion for season 11 as well, and it looks like he's going to be your race winner too.
Usually I say anything could change, but no one's really close to each other on the track unless somebody does what McCoy just did and actually goes around.
Take a look at your HMS TV battle board. Closest battle on the track is the 6th position. Chad White trying to hold off Kyle McCoy, who just annihilated the wall a couple laps ago. Half a second separates those two.
You can see right there on your screen, it's still not that big of a gap. Not that little of a gap, excuse me.
Nope, half a second. That's the closest one. But meanwhile, Tom Ogle cruising in the 9th position. Up 9 since the start of this race. Started 18th, up to 9th. Your HMS
Tom Ogle back.
Hard charger board. Josh Robinson top of the board. Ogle second, followed by Grattan, Essery, and Hale.
Mentioning Tom Ogle back for his one start this season. It's going to be in the championship race.
Yeah, we hope to see Tom Ogle back next season in season 12 with the Stars and Stripes series. We're not sure when they're going to start back up. I believe they had a tentative date. Oh, they messaged me, but I don't even remember, honestly. It was either January or February.
How's the town of Wooster, Ohio, Blake?
It is a dump, and I tell you what, one of the biggest dumps is Ogle Auto Sales.
Oh, wow. Is that his own auto? He owns his own car lot?
Absolutely. Ogle Auto Sales in Wooster, Ohio. Tom Ogle, he's trying to rip you off out there, I bet.
That picture does strike me as a used car salesman.
But no, in all seriousness, if you're in the Wooster, Ohio area, Ogle Auto Sales, it's a small lot. Tom Ogle, he does a good job out there. I've heard great things about Ogle Auto Sales in Wooster, Ohio. But not really any battles going on the track here, trying to find something for you, but really nothing. So let's just talk about this guy right here. What a season Scott Rickard has been. All consistency all year long. He's got a good amount of wins, but even more impressive that he just doesn't really ever wreck.
Yeah, and even when he does, biggest thing I could say about the championship points, you could have bad races. The biggest thing is those races that you do wreck, don't quit. Get back out there, gain that extra 2 or 3 points. You never know what that could be in the long run.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, here in iRacing, a lot of guys, they throw a fit and whine when they quit. You know, they hit the wall or something, and they'll just pull it in and log off. Well, if you stay out there, you know, it sucks to log laps and be 20 laps down, but you can definitely gain positions pretty easily because other people whine and quit, and you can pass them.
Absolutely. I learned that. It was like my second season ever in iRacing. I had a long season of, okay, we get an incident. Yep, I'm done. Well, guys, I'm wrecked. Pull it in the pits, park it. and then I missed the playoffs. It could have been my first ever playoff berth by 1 point. I looked back and thought how many points I could have had by passing other people that wrecked out, but no, I just quit. That's why you get out there and keep racing.
Yeah, meanwhile, William Duff in the 13th position. Him and Ryan Lynch are racing each other hard for the 13th and 12th position.
5 laps to go here at Kansas, though, in the Stars and Stripes Racing Series on the board. Where's Ryan Lynch?
And Scott Rickard
About to
coming
get
up
lapped.
yeah, both of them about to put them both a lap down. We have been green to almost checkered here, folks. 133 laps at Kansas, 0 cautions. These guys putting on a clinic.
I gotta say, this is the cleanest league I've ever seen overall. When it comes down to it, Stars and Stripes Racing League rarely has what I would call a slobber knocker of a race.
Yeah, you know, really hardly at all. In Indy cars, we usually get a few cautions because, I mean, they're Indy cars. It's going to happen. But at these stock car races, it seems like half the time we're going green to checkered, 1 to 2 cautions at the most, usually.
Just a very clean group of guys that fit well together, I'll say. Oh, William Duff in front of the... That's not what Scott Rickard wants to see out of his windshield.
Not at all. And in the chat, Gavin Salyer says Ogle sold him a chunker. Tom Ogle ripped off Gavin Salyer. Well, I tell you what, Gavin walked through the door, and Tom was licking his chops saying, look at this sucker. Sold him the junkiest car on the lot, and he got him good.
For a 15% interest rate, I might add.
Yep. It was one of those 10-year, 50% interest rate loans.
Buy here, pay here, right?
Yep. It's a low payment, so it's good, right?
Yeah, and then Tom, what happens is he's going to wait for him to be 3 days behind payment. He's going to go repo the car and have it on the lot and sold by the end of the day.
There you go. That's how it's done, boys. You know, you get them to make some payments for a year or two, and then you just take the car back and you sell it again, and you tank their credit. I mean, it's just a win for everybody except for the buyer.
Absolutely. Is Scott Rickard going to be trying to pass the blinking 17 here? Who I would hope it's realizing he's blinking, but the white flag is in the air for the final time this season, Blake. The GOAT, Scott Rickard, goes into 1 and 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic season here in the Stars and Stripes Racing League. And you see the GOAT, Scott Rickard. And for the final time, Blake, I hand it to you.
Scott Rickard, the GOAT, heading into turns 3 and 4. He's going to be your season 11 points champion. And also coming out of turn 4, checkered flag in the air, Scott Rickard wins the Stars and Stripes Championship race at Kansas.
As far as the race goes, Kyle Bowling brings it home second, and Jason Gratton crosses the line in the 3rd position. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Stars and Stripes season.
What a race here tonight. Scott Rickard brings home a race win and a championship all in one night. And it looks like our podium is not working here tonight for some reason.
Hashtag blame Jesse in the chat.
Yep, Jesse's fault.
Hashtag Jesse's fault.
Yeah, nonetheless, we appreciate all our fans tuning in here. Hutchinson Motorsports TV, world's #1 streaming service. We got interviews with our top 3 racers, Rickard, Bowling, and Gratton. Coming up next, watch Scott Rickard burn it down with a burnout on the front stretch.
Go ahead and blow that motor up, buddy. You don't need it no more.
May as well, but let's pull in our 3rd place finisher here, the 46 car of Jason Gratton. Jason, Blake, and Christian up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. A good run for you tonight, putting it on the podium here in the season finale. Did the car feel good out there for you?
Yeah, I wish I could have figured out 3 and 4 a little better, but wasn't terrible. Just was maybe a little less than equal, and maybe cost me. Probably not. Final result didn't cost me any, but those first 2 runs, better track position, but yeah, felt good.
Absolutely. Well, hey, a great run to finish out the season. It was a good year for you all year long. You were battling for podiums every week about.
Yeah, I thanks to Dylan, we had this mixed up schedule, and we gave him a hard time about it all season, but really it was fun. The track and car combinations was about as good as you could ask for a mixed schedule all season, and yeah, I was excited to get a win and be fighting for a couple others, and yeah, just glad it all worked out.
Absolutely. Christian, what'd you see out of this 46 car all night long?
You know, just saying right there up front all night and up 8 positions before you started that. So definitely had the speed. Want to say congratulations on your season and your 3rd place finish here tonight.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that I topped the board in practice, and I wish I would have put my purse down when it came to qualifying, but you'll have that from time to time, I guess.
Definitely so, but give you a chance to any shout outs you might have to end out the season.
The usual, my brother Todd and his family, and then my nephew Josh, his mama Shirley, and cousin Kylan were watching the last couple of weeks, so shout out to them. And Nate, Derek, and the guys, Brian, put on the league, and you guys in the booth for broadcasting us every week.
Yeah, well, we appreciate
And my
you.
teammates. Sorry, I forget that every single time. My teammates, Dylan Grimm, Josh Gratton, and Zach Kreitz. They've been fun to hang out with all season, per usual. And yeah, sorry, I always forget you guys, but
Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate you coming in here, putting on a show every week for us. And hey, before you head out, rumor around the garages, you still don't have a sponsor because your sponsor meetings with the corporations, you're showing up in jean shorts and a tank top. Is that true, Jason?
jean shorts, yes. Tank top, no. Jean shorts and just a plain white tee. Sometimes I'll have a little funny saying I ride on the front of it just for laughs for myself, but regardless of how funny it is, I know. Regardless of how funny it is to me, they don't like it. So,
well, hey, great job this season, Jason. Had some good runs all year long. We look forward to seeing you coming into season number 12.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
There's Jason Gratton, your 3rd place finisher here tonight in the 46 machine. Time to bring in our 2nd place finisher, Kyle Bowling. Kyle, Blake, and Christian up in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Hey, a good run for you all night long. You were running top 3 the entire night, and you end up bringing home 2nd. How'd the car feel?
Really good. Finally got a setup that really fit my style. It was loose, so that's always going to be a win for me in terms of it's going to be a good sign at least. And it's cool to bring home 2nd place finishes in both my home tracks this year with Iowa and Kansas. So yeah, really good night.
Absolutely. Really, we had a green to checkered run there, not a single caution. Is that kind of what you were expecting once we got going?
That's what I hoped for, at least. I don't know. At the stars, I mean, that seems to happen a lot with a mile and a half, especially when we have, last week would be an exception, of course, with Charlotte being kind of a plate race more than anything. But these mile and a half where we can kind of stretch out, this league usually kind of does a good job of being able to keep it clean and green.
Absolutely. Well, Christian, what did you see here out of the 44 of bowling all night?
Just staying consistently up front, up 3 positions where you started. Your lap times were looking good too. What could you have done, you reckon, towards the end there to have anything for the GOAT Scott Rickard?
I'm not sure. We were pretty even. I'm not sure there's much more I could have done. And really at the end there, I really wasn't. It's not that I wasn't trying, but it wasn't a focus of trying to get to him. It was more just making sure I kept what was behind me, because I was more chasing 2nd place in points, which I think I may have gotten. I'm not entirely sure. And yeah, passing Scott would have helped that, but I didn't want to risk abusing my tires, and then suddenly those guys behind me that I'm pulling away from, they're on my back bumper with 2 to go, and now I'm playing defense. I didn't want to be in that position, so I was like, let's get the second place here. I'm good with that. That's good points, and it's 1-2 for the team, so we just stick with that.
Yeah, I was looking at the points, and I think you're right. I think you go from 4th to 2nd. An off night there for Dylan Grimm, and then Chad, you ended up beaten by, I believe, 5 spots. So you should be good to go. I don't know if anybody got a 0x bonus or how any of that stuff, but assume you all did because we were green and checkered.
Yeah, I know I did for sure. Yeah, I can't speak for the rest of them, but yeah, so I didn't think I had a chance at getting second place, but then the setup tonight kind of showed up, and suddenly it became a possibility.
Yeah, well, Christian, I think that makes our job easy. You know, we were thinking about firing Chad White for second place in points. Well, he's in 3rd now, so he's definitely gone, right?
Yep, absolutely. I'll start the paperwork as Cal Bowling tells us any shout-outs he might have.
Shout out to the league runners, still putting on a good show. Shout out to you guys for putting on a good broadcast, and I enjoy coming and talk to you guys. You guys fun to talk to in these races, and shout out to my teammates tonight. And help keep things light and keep things moving forward, and that's all I got.
Well, hey, congratulations on a second place finish and a second place points finish as well. Here's a good season for you. Season 11 for Kyle Bowling.
Yep, thanks, guys.
There was Kyle with our second place finish. Well, folks, it's time for the star of the show tonight. The GOAT, Scott Rickard, your points champion and your race winner. Let's get him in here. Scott Rickard, Blake, and Christian up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, what a night for you. You not only lock up the points championship, but you also park it in victory lane here at Kansas.
Yeah, I've been trying to fix the amount of half speed I've missing the past, I don't know, year in iRacing and past month. It really paid off tonight, finally.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it did. I mean, you were the dominant car all night long. It seemed like, were you kind of expecting a green to checkered run here with no cautions?
This league, it feels like it's usually green most of the time, so this felt like a natural one for us, but sometimes I think that, and we have a lot of cautions out for some reason in some of these races, so I was still waiting for one, even with like 5 to go. I was nervous about getting one.
Well, hey, you did a great job out there dominating all night long, and honestly, the whole season, you were just so consistent. Obviously, you had your fair share of wins, but the main thing for you was just consistency. It was just like, even when you weren't winning, you were somewhere in the top 5 every week.
Yeah, I always say I'm probably a better points racer than I like winning, just outright winning stuff. So usually I'm pretty decent about just getting the best what I can get, and this definitely paid off this year, especially in the playoffs this time. Like, I think last week was my worst finish, and it was still 7th for this play, at least for these 4 races, and that really paid off for the points at least this year.
Absolutely. Christian, what did you see out of the GOAT, Scott Rickard, here tonight at Kansas?
Sorry, just speed. Keeping it up front all night. Aside from a few pit cycles, you came out on top, and just like all season, consistency is key, and that's probably why you're holding that championship right now. But overall, I just want to say a great season, and going into next season, you looking for more of the same? I'd hope.
I know McCoy is usually really good at these Xfinity cars, so usually some like these types of setups where it's a little bit loose, I can usually keep up with him. So it'll probably be the same thing, me and him next season, at least being near each other, and feeling good because I've figured out these amount of houses again. So hopefully this keeps going.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you got any shout-outs or anything for our fans watching at home as you park it in victory lane in the final race of the Stars and Stripes Series finale?
Yeah, thank Team Lots of Race Stats for having me as one of their drivers for like 2 years now, actually. And everybody puts the league on, and my dog for me in the room all the time.
Well, hey, keeping it short and sweet. You get 2 championship trophies basically tonight. You got the race winning trophy and the championship trophy. Has to feel like a good night.
Yeah, it's nice. Also, it's nice to get a championship, especially in this league where I've been here for all but the first season. So it's always nice to be able to get one here and there in this league.
One more thing, Scott. My wife told me to tell your dog hi.
I'll have to tell her later. She's sleeping right now, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Don't interrupt her. Don't interrupt her.
She must not be impressed of your championship run.
Nah, whenever usually she sleeps whenever I'm racing. She's like, "Hear me right there. I'm good. Don't worry about when he gets up after."
Yeah, well, hey, once again, though, congratulations, Scott. Not sure how many wins you pull off this season, but definitely a good number. And more importantly, you are the points champion here of Season 11 with the Stars and Stripes Series.
Thank you.
So the GOAT, Scott Rickard, to no surprise, gets the job done here tonight. I'm not shocked. Christian, what did you think of this race as we went green to checkered?
You know, I kind of thought the same thing. Not shocked the way it came out, and the GOAT, Scott Rickard, puts it on the pole, and that's why he is the GOAT.
Yeah, you know, just honestly, just pure dominance, basically the whole season. I mean, just consistent every single week. Parks in victory lane here to finish off the season. He's heading down pit road to celebrate with his team, but that's going to round things out for us. Christian, you got any final words for our fans at home?
Other than to, head on over to harpoondesign.com to place your paint order today. Paint starting at just $25. NASCAR dirt style paints. Brantley Roden will get you hooked up. And if you have any graphical design needs, especially like the 3D rendering you saw at the top of the scoreboard over there, it's still right there tonight. Juicy Spider Studios is your man. Made our intro too that you saw before the race. I believe you'll see it one more time before we go. Juicy Spider Studios is where it's at. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun this season.
Yeah, well, we actually didn't play it before the race. We were kind of a little late getting going, but we will play it to end the night. So you're definitely going to want to check out that awesome video created by our friends over at Juicy Spider Studios. You can go check them out on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Juicy Spider, spelled just like it is here in the logo. But hey, that's going to round things out here for us for the final time of the season. Stars and Stripes season finale of Season 11 is in the books. Well, in the booth with Christian Taylor, I'm Blake Hutchinson, and we will see you back here next Monday night. We hope to have a happy Thanksgiving for everybody and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in.
Hi, I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Coming out of turns 3 and 4. Chad White on the bottom. William Duff on the top. Checkered flag in the air. Who's going to win? It's William Duff. No, look out. He just junked it. Look out. Oh, my God. World's #1 streaming service. Hutchinson Motorsports TV. On the call tonight. On your feet. Off your seat. It's about to go green.
Chad White? Yeah!